Different when I was there. It was a lot.
Right, don't you think?
Fitting everything?
No choice.
All right, nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Let's meet up. This is our 1-year anniversary. And thanks to AppBuddy for sponsoring. And Rackbase for providing the conference room. My name is David. I'm the organizer, and I'm from CloudAmp, from the analytics apps for Salesforce. And I have a replacement for Salesforce for Google AdWords. So thanks to AppBuddy for sponsoring. I'm going to introduce Marc Aubin, who's the founder of AppBuddy. He's going to demo GridBuddy.
Thanks, David.
Everyone.
So I just want to get an idea of who's here. How many people here work with Salesforce actively? And how many of you are working not only with your own instance, but with other people's instances? Consulting. Hands down. Anybody here from Salesforce? Excellent. Okay. I'll be careful what I say then. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about what I like to call editable reporting. So we're going to talk about a little bit what it is, the challenge, the problems that it solves, and the challenges that it meets. And then get right into a demo we're going to show by example through our product GridBuddy, which is basically editable reporting in Salesforce. So when I was working with somebody, he once told me, reporting is the crown jewel of business, right? It's kind of interesting. So, but one really crucial aspect of reporting is data quality. So if you have really good data quality, your reports are going to shine. If you have bad data quality, then it's going to be obscured. The truth is going to be obscured. So it was funny, I was on a customer call one time, and about a couple weeks ago, and I asked my customer, I said, so what I thought was a pretty standard question. I said, are you happy with your data quality? And she paused for a second. She said, do you actually get anybody who answers yes to that? And it's interesting, and she brings up a good point, and that's because almost everybody who works with business systems and enterprise systems grapples with data quality at least to some extent. So I've outlined a few factors here that affect data quality, and I'm sure depending on how you look at it, there could be more. But we're going to really focus on the first two, data management processes and user adoption. The other two, automations and integrations, they're very important, and they all kind of work together. But first of all, let's look at data management processes. So these are the manual data management processes that you have for your business system, right? It's people who are entering data, who are cleaning up data, and how these things are structured, the schemas they're based on, the flows that you provide your users, the user experience that you provide your users. If it's done poorly, then your data quality is definitely going to suffer. And I think a lot of us have seen that. If it's done right, the flows are efficient, there's good user experience in the flows, then your users are going to adopt that system. Not only are they going to adopt that system, but they are the ones, people who are closest to the data, they're going to keep that data up to date more consistently. I think that's more the crown jewel of business systems, right? So that's what we're really going after. And what we kind of found in Salesforce, no offense to the Salesforce people who are in the room, what we kind of found in Salesforce is that Salesforce is really great for a couple things, for a lot of things actually, right? That's why it's such a really powerful ecosystem. But when it comes to managing data, especially a lot of it at one time, there are challenges, and it's not easy. So, for instance, say you're a salesperson, and you want to manage multiple opportunities, and you want to manage your tasks related to those opportunities. You're on sales calls, you're working with a bunch of opportunities during the week, and you need to add tasks for those opportunities. What you would do in Salesforce is you would go to a list view, which doesn't show you the tasks that sit underneath that. And then you click into every one of those opportunities, and then you look at a related list, and the related lists aren't editable. So you'd have to click into each one of those tasks that you see in a related list and either edit them individually, or you'd have to create them from scratch, one record at a time. And this gets a little tedious, or it actually gets to be a big problem when you're managing a lot of data. So we recognized this problem. We actually saw a lot of ideas on the idea exchange that asked if there was any kind of fixes for this, and if there could be fixes for this, and then we decided to do something about it, and we came up with GridBuddy. So GridBuddy, basically what it is it's a report-like view that allows you to see multiple objects on one screen and edit them just like you would a spreadsheet. Pretty simple. Everybody loves spreadsheets, right? And but when you're working in a relational database, it's really important to see related data in a related context. So what we do is we bring related data onto one page, and I'll show you, hopefully the demo is going to come out a little bit better resolution than that showing right here. But we'll show you some examples of this in the demo that I'm about to show. Here's another example right here where you can see actually a Salesforce record detail, and we're showing of a very popular app on the App Exchange, Milestones PM. And we're allowing you to edit the related data right underneath the project record detail in Milestones PM. So the cool thing about our app is that we go everywhere inside Salesforce. We go in record detail pages, we go in Visual Force, we go in custom buttons, custom tabs, anywhere you want to put us, we go in, right? And we also work with a lot of different editions. So me and people that founded the company and basically built the product, we've been working with Salesforce for quite some time, so we're kind of Salesforce junkies, and we thought this was really important. Our customers are seeing definite benefits with this. We've been on the App Exchange since 2010, so a few years now. We've heard some customer reports of up to 90% improvement in data management productivity by using our app. And not only that, I mean, we've also seen people who have adopted Salesforce because our app existed. So new users of Salesforce coming on because they saw a GridBuddy Salesforce solution and they thought it was great. It was the experience that their users wanted. But we're also able to do this with point-and-click configuration rather than code, so that really reduces on development costs that you might have to realize by doing this in Visual Force. I encourage you to check out our reviews if you're interested in our app. People really say a lot of cool things. And we've got some great customers using it right now. So not only some big customers like this, but also a lot of nonprofits, small-sized industries, medium-sized customers. So really, we're fulfilling the gamut of a lot of different use cases here across industries and also company sizes. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at a few examples of those use cases. GridBuddy in the Sales Cloud, GridBuddy in the Service Cloud, and GridBuddy for Milestones PM. So I'm going to get right into a demo. And all right, so what I have here, first I'm going to show you the Sales Cloud version of GridBuddy. So, like I said, GridBuddy is a spreadsheet-like view where you can see multiple objects on one screen. Here I see a list of accounts, and then underneath that I see their related objects. In this case, I've configured this grid to say have related contacts, cases, opportunities. We can include basically any field on these views. We can edit them just like we would. Oh, that's so much better. Thank you. Okay.
Nice job.
So we can edit this with very original data that I'm going to put in here. Right. We support all different types of data types inside Salesforce. So pick lists, lookup fields. We actually have a little bit of a different way of doing it than Salesforce does, where we really like to tailor our app for fast typers as well. So people who are used to just typing in a spreadsheet, hitting tab, 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 they can do that in GridBuddy. You can create new records as well. So I can sit here and I can also not only edit existing records, but create new ones. So we'll put David in here, and I'll probably butcher his name. I can't even see this from over here, so I'm almost going by memory, right? And then basically when I'm happy with my changes, all I have to do is hit the save button and it saves across multiple objects. So I did an edit on account, on contact, on all the related objects, all in once in one operation. Not only can I do that, but I can also delete multiple objects in one go too. So say I wanted to delete David, sorry David, and we'll delete maybe this opportunity over here. then all I need to do is select one action to delete that, if I actually have that configured on the grid. Aha! And this is what we'll do later on. But this is a configurable option. One thing to note too, since we are affecting data here, we actually completely respect Salesforce's field level, object level security, and their sharing model. So even if you tell somebody, hey, I'll let you edit your data here, or I'll let you delete data here, if they can't do it in Salesforce, they won't be able to do it in GridBuddy. We also allow people to mass update very quickly. So here we have a view of all the fields that I brought into this grid. And if I want to mass update certain values, I can say apply to selected records, which I can, or I can apply to all records. And then I can see that those values will be applied all the way down. And then I just have to hit the save button to apply those values. And I can do that for multiple fields at a time too. The cool thing that's reporty about this is not only just being able to see multiple objects on one screen like we have here in this hierarchical view, but also being able to filter. So we have some very sophisticated filters. Some of the metaphors are just like Salesforce. So you'll see all the fields that you have available on an object, and you can filter by certain criteria. So for instance, if I want to do create a date equals, and then I can do a really cool little formula type of thing here where I go take time dot now, and then I say, okay, show me all of the records that were created 3 days ago or before 3 days ago, right? I can do stuff like that. I can do advanced filter conditions like I would in Salesforce. I can also show you, hey, only show me the accounts that have opportunities. So I can do some exception reporting here. Sort by multiple fields just like you would in Excel. So we can sort by up to 5 different conditions. Save this, apply it, it applies to the grid, right? So this is actually a control that's at the configuration level or even at the end user level, right? If they don't like that, if you just looked at that filter thing and you were like, yes?
Is this like a plugin for Salesforce? It's not the actual main database grid.
It's actually, it's an App Exchange application.
Okay.
And you install it into your Salesforce instance.
Yeah.
And then you can use it on top of the Salesforce UI. So you can bring it in as one of the tabs in Salesforce, or a lot of what our users do is they also do something like this where they'll actually embed it in a record detail. So this is the familiar record detail right here. And then we have underneath that some GridBuddy grids within the record detail page so you can edit the related list.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different ways that you can integrate it inside the experience. So this is one example, and this is the sales example that I wanted to show. We also have GridBuddy and Service Cloud, right? So this is actually being used by some of our customers too. So here, this is an example experience inside the Service Cloud where what I've done is I've brought the Grids tab as first and foremost inside the tabs in the Service Cloud console. And it's loading basically first this grid of open cases where I can see my open cases with related case comments. And then what I might be able to do here is as I'm working my cases, you know, I might bump this up to high priority and save. And then I also might want to send an email. So if I want to send an email to this person, I can actually open up the email screen. So we have also this concept of actions in GridBuddy where you can actually act on your data and launch certain actions in Salesforce. So if you have custom Visualforce actions, or you have just out-of-the-box Salesforce buttons that you want to include that functionality inside GridBuddy, you can do that here. So as I'm working my case, I send an email and everything like that, and then maybe, okay, great, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close that case. So I could either close it by just updating the status here, or bring in another action where I could open up Salesforce's closed case here and add some comments so that it creates a case comment too. Another original piece of content there. And then we'll save this, and then when I close and refresh the grid, that case will fall off, and then what I can do is I can go to another grid that shows my closed cases and see those there, right? So you could use the GridBuddy list view as your entry point in the Service Cloud console, or if you're more happy with the normal entry points that people use, the Salesforce list views for the Service Cloud console, you can also leverage GridBuddy as well. where if you open this up, lo and behold, I have that account record detail page, and I can include those grids directly underneath here so that I can work my individual account more efficiently rather than opening up separate tabs. So there's a lot of different ways that you can integrate this, and our customers have. Final thing that I want to show you here is Milestones PM. This one's fun. So one thing I got right here is basically this is a foldering structure that allows me to organize my grids by profile protected folders, so that's pretty nice. But Milestones PM, what I got here is I have my projects with related milestones. So if you're familiar with Milestones PM, you have projects, milestones, tasks, and time, right? So here I see, in GridBuddy we show you up to 2 levels, so projects with related milestones. But if I wanted to edit the tasks and time too, I could open yet another grid where I can edit the tasks and times for individual milestones. So all of that's happening directly from this one screen without people having to open up all these different navigational tabs, right? So really nice. And then if you're really comfortable with, say, the milestones project view, what I can do, I could open it as an overlay here. Yeah, I guess that'll work on this screen. But if this is really kind of nice because you can see all milestones pretty charts that people really like to see. And then in addition, you can work with GridBuddy editable related lists directly within the record detail page. By the way, it usually does not look this cluttered because this is a projector and it's doing something really weird with the resolution. But basically that's the idea. Now, creating these things is pretty much a snap. We have this thing called the Grid Wizard. And the Grid Wizard is a 3-step wizard. So for instance, if I was going to, I could either create new grids or edit existing grids. We're going to go ahead and edit an existing grid. It's a 3-step wizard where I basically define grids. And we have salespeople defining these, we have admins defining these. It's pretty simple to set up. But basically what I do is I select the parent object, which is that top most level object. And we support all custom objects to most standard objects. Then I say, okay, I enable some data management options. So for instance, I want to enable deletes on that grid because that thing didn't have it, right? We have some display options, and then we'll go to the next screen, which is a lot more fun. Well, this one's fun too. But right here, what we see is we see a couple different sections. First of all, our select fields section, where I have my available fields and my selected fields. Right at the top of the available fields, I have the account that I selected in the previous step. And if I want to select some fields for that, I can either just drag and drop them over, and then drag and drop the order, right? Or I can just simply select them. And then we automatically generate the children for you right underneath. So if I want to, for instance, include some task fields, all you have to do is select one field for the whole object to appear on the grid, and it will. So we'll select a few of them just because it looks a little bit better. And then down here we have this whole actions feature. So this was what I was mentioning, where if I wanted to bring in an action that allows people to do, say, sending an email or closing a case or logging a call, those types of things. There's a separate place, which I'm not going to go into right now in the interest of time, but where you can define these, and then basically you can include them on a grid. One thing that we actually have is we just did a partnership with AppBuddy so you can include Conga Composer buttons and Conga Conductor actions inside the grid. So if you wanted to launch a Conga document and create a Conga document directly from the grid. You guys familiar with Conga Composer? Have you heard about them? Yeah, they're really, really cool. I suggest you check them out. Or if you want to send multiple objects, multiple records to create multiple documents at one time from a GridBuddy list view, you can do that. So really, really powerful stuff there. And then this last section we've already covered, so yay, we don't have to cover it again. But basically, this is the default filter section where you can define basically filters for every object that I've included on the grid. And then when I'm happy, I just launch it and it dynamically has that definition. So we brought in that account phone, I think we brought in an account number, where we brought in the tasks, so we see the tasks. A lot of people use this, a lot of salespeople use this for task management. It makes it really quick. So that is the general idea about GridBuddy. I guess we have about 5 minutes before the next presentation and everything, but I guess we'll open up to questions. Yeah?
How do you get the pretty charts?
Oh, the pretty charts of Milestones PM? That was part of Milestones PM. Awesome app. Yeah.
Do you support customer portal license users and those
Yes.
licenses?
Yep. We actually have a few customers on customer portal, customer and partner portal. Yep.
And I assume this works with custom objects as well, Mark?
Oh yeah, everyone.
What does it cost?
Oh yeah. Okay. So
It's
so we have both a free version and an unlimited version. The free version is
Free?
okay. And you know, it allows you to do a lot of cool editing and everything. It doesn't have things like user-defined filters or mass update or a whole bunch of other stuff. The premium version, or the unlimited version, as we call it now, is $10 per user per month, and up to 50 users. At 50 users, we start giving price breaks. The customer portal is less. So, yeah.
Is there a discount for nonprofit organizations?
Yes, we actually give the first 5 licenses for free, and we've also worked out other deals among nonprofits too. On unlimited, yeah. So we actually have, I'll show you just some of our nonprofit customers that we work with. I like to show them because they're really cool. But these are our for-profit customers. Boring, boring, boring. Here. So these guys actually, these guys have a great use case. They have a review where, okay, has anybody ever seen an AppExchange review where they said their users cried? Because they were so joyful. Seco. Any other questions? Still got a few more minutes.
How many of those grids does it have a bunch of them pre-configured, or do you have to?
Yeah, actually, when you install GridBuddy right out of the box, you get about 4 grids pre-configured in the unlimited version. In the free version, do we install any? In 2? Okay. And then we're also coming out with some GridBuddy add-ons. So pretty soon, in about, I'd say a month, you're going to see in our website where if you wanted to get a starter pack for the Sales Cloud, you could download that, and we have all these predefined definitions for Sales Cloud. So we're going to do like Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Milestones, PM, pretty much the things that you saw up here initially. Yeah.
So you showed us during the demo how you entered a contact and you tried to save it or delete something, but it wouldn't let you do it because you have to configure something.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
you just walk us through that use case?
Yes,
Of how you
absolutely.
would configure that?
So that was on this grid, and I was trying to delete something because I didn't bring in the delete action, but on that, when I reconfigured, I actually, on page 1, so let me bring you back to page 1 here. So we're here, we'll go back. So right here, this was the delete privilege. When I re-edited the grid, I added this delete privilege right here. And then when I refresh the grid, now I'm able to actually do the delete. So if I wanted to delete, say, these 2 right here, all I gotta do is hit delete, and it'll do so. And then if we run into any kind of errors or any problems, we'll actually bubble those errors right at the top over here. We do standard Salesforce delete, so everything shows in your recycle bin as well. Yeah.
So when you were like deleting that contact or saving it, you already had corresponding Salesforce field security permission to do that,
Yes.
but then you had to configure it again here.
Yeah, because our customers want that kind of. It's almost similar to like a page layout. So when you're configuring a page layout, even though I'm a certain type of user, I might, in the context of a particular business process, you might not want people to delete leads, or you might not. A good example actually is in our org. We have leads that come in from the AppExchange. They're piped in by you guys, and then we have a GridBuddy leads grid. These are the people who install from the AppExchange. We actually don't enable deletes on that grid because those are brand new leads that come in, and we don't want to touch that data until somebody's actually scrubbed it first, and that's the grid that they do it on. Does that make sense? Yeah.
So if I add 5 records, and when you're adding records, there could be workflow rules that apply or insurers apply. fire, maybe 3 of them are allowed and 2 of them are illegal for one reason or another.
Yep.
You like let the valid ones go through and the ones that didn't go through get highlighted some way so you can.
That's configurable, yeah.
Okay.
So we actually have another option on page 1 here. So rollback records on saved error or whatever this says, right? So if I check this, then it'll allow, basically unchecked it's going to be all or nothing. And if I check this, then it'll allow the good ones to come through. But then even in both cases, what we'll do is we'll put that error message at the top, we'll bubble it up top, and then we'll highlight the records that are the offenders within the grid. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have the grid support on mobile devices?
iPad. So we do have users using it on an iPad. Small devices, that's a dream for the future. Have you seen, I'm kind of curious, have you seen like use cases for people to edit a lot of data? I mean, what are they doing on mobile phones?
That seems scary. I don't think you should allow that.
Yeah.
Do you have Salesforce Touch?
Huh?
Do you have Salesforce Touch that allows you to like create records and tasks?
Yeah, but do people usually manage them one at a time? Because I would imagine your interface is probably good enough for those types of use cases, or do you see requests for people wanting to mass manage on iPhones too?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, people want to do everything, right? Yeah.
How do you deal with field validation rules?
We respect them. So if you, there you go. We have that error messaging, that message that shows at the top. It basically shows in red. So it's not green anymore, it's red. And then it'll actually, so any validation rules you have, any workflow errors that get triggered or triggers that cause errors. So if you did add error in a trigger and that actually threw an error. We just do send or Salesforce saves and then we catch those and we throw them to the interface. But we do it in a user-friendly way. And with the validation rules, we highlight the offending ones too, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Can you place a standard help bubbles against each field?
Yeah, actually, meaning to describe the types of, like this field is to.
Right, the one that goes with each field.
So we put that right at the top over here. If they have them, they'll show. And this org is totally not configured, but they would show right here if you actually had them. Yeah, I've been pretty lazy with my demo work. Any other questions? Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm going to put another computer in this place right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark. That's very cool. So next we have Patrick White from Sonata. And show us a new app that he's launched. We can search across Salesforce with multiple Sonata applications. And for those sticking around until the end, we have 2 giveaways: $25 Amazon and $25 Starbucks gift cards. So if you haven't put a business card in here,
Get Amy for it.
yeah. Meetup doesn't give us your email addresses. But both of our demo sponsors have donated prizes, so thank you.
Yes.
David, is these every other month, or what's your plan?
Oh yeah, so the next one probably the first week of June.
Okay.